Yo, CT's Cool Collectibles, you won the giveaway from last week. Enjoy your trending comics list. Another week, another list. I got cat hair all over me. Butch is here. We got to get into it though. We have 10 books to chat about, the trending books of the week with an Overstreet Price Guide advisor. And we're going to start them off at number 10, but not before I tell them to hit the subscribe button because we're here every week for the Comic Fam.
Number 10 on the list, Black Adam Endless Winter #1. Now, this is the Boss Logic B variant. Not really on a lot of people's radars because right now it's selling for an average sale of $50 to $60, but just 9 days ago, they were $8 by it now on eBay. We even saw a high sale of $821 for a CGC 9.8.
That's right, but then just days later, the book was going for $480 for a CGC 9.8. Very volatile pricing, and it seemed that at the time, the supply wasn't meeting the demand, and within a week, we're seeing a ton of listed copies, bringing that overall height down again. I think the members need to be patient on this one.
I absolutely agree with you, Tom. Considering the Black Adam movie's been pushed to the end of July of 2022, I think there's a whole lot of time for people to wait on it. Yeah, it's a cool looking book. I don't think it's quite in the Batgirl 23 Josh Middleton realm. I think it's a really cool looking book, but yeah, man, don't go buying this at its peak right now.
That Batgirl variant was also a cover B. It's an older book, and it's hitting above $100 for a raw copy. Could this also happen with this particular variant making the list? It could, but with this long delay, I expect it to see a lull very soon. So be a little cautious here, Comic Fam. Don't go spending too much money on it. But Boss Logic absolutely killed the cover. I really am a big fan of his art. Now, we have Pierce Brosnan attached, playing Dr. Fate. I'm very excited about that. Helen Mirren, who is announced as the villain for the upcoming Shazam movie. All of these coming together is giving reason to why we're seeing a 150% increase in copies sold in just a week for this issue. We all know that they are building a grandiose event. We're going to see Black Adam take on Superman in the future, and I want to know the Comic Fam's thoughts about this epic battle that's going to happen.
Shifting gears entirely, number 9, we have The Rise #1, which is an incredible book published by Heavy Metal Comics, which actually features George C. Romero, the son of George A. Romero, as the writer. $12 average sales for this brand new book this week.
We have the son of the godfather of horror who created the modern day zombie, Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. He also collaborated with Stephen King to make a comic book tie-in here, Creepshow, an amazing show. And his son, George C. Romero, has been asked multiple times over the years after his dad's passing whether he would take on the mantle, write and create possibly a zombie movie, and he's always said no. But it turns out that he was being asked the wrong question. Would you ever write a zombie something? And the answer is yes. He wrote a comic book and Heavy Metal Magazine took it on. The Rise is out, and I have a feeling a lot of people missed out on it because of COVID.
Tom, this book was originally solicited back in October of 2020, and because of an ordering deadline thing, we didn't get the copies that we ordered for our original people. So I have a very, very strong feeling that even though this got resolicited, there are many fewer copies out there than people expect, and the demand is going to far surpass the supply.
This is what George said about the book. It's not a prequel. It's a story that takes place at the genesis of the zombie apocalypse from Night of the Living Dead, but it's self-contained with all its own themes, ideas, and arcs. This project has been a decade in the making. And now at the list at number 8, a verdantly green cover drawn wonderfully by George Perez. We have Avengers 196, the first appearance of Taskmaster, hitting $270 average sales and a high sale for a CGC 9.8 at $2,650.
Wow.
And considering that twice the amount of copies sold week over week, that's some impressive gains. The trailer dropped, getting people really hyped about a movie that some people are thinking is just never going to come out. But be patient, Comic Fam. It's going to happen. What did you think? Because we saw more shots of Taskmaster.
Tom, they made the Red Guardian look exactly like he did in the comic books. Why aren't they doing that for Taskmaster?
True.
This is such an iconic cover. He's got his big white cowl. They've kind of given him a hoodie. He doesn't have the skull on his face. I mean, they're just changing too many things. It's probably going to be great. I'm really excited for this movie, but you know what? I'm not excited for the character design. I hope I'm wrong.
I want to know the community's thoughts about how they're handling Taskmaster in the comment section below. Comic fam, you got 5 more days to support the show and get yourself a April mystery mail call box. Every member's getting a grotesque but beautiful cover done by Zoe Lucky, and that's not all.
We are also welcoming Carla Cohen to the comic book fam. She did this incredible Cult of Dracula cover. There are 4 different variants, and some of them are super low print run because we had damages.
That's right, comic fam. We're pulling a Robert Kirkman and Eric Powell. You're going to have to pray to Thor on which variant you're going to get, but every member is going to be getting this other exclusive that's already been optioned and, as of yesterday, gone to second print already.
Go to Comictom101.com or hit the link in the description down below.
Back to the list at number 7, we have Batman 107, the 1 in 25 Riccardo Federici variant. The Scarecrow looking so dope on this cover. I'm digging these designs. The community is as well. And we told you about the redesign of the Scarecrow, and I think that this proves that it landed with the community.
$30 average sales for this book, and these pencil sketch line drawing style books look amazing. There was one for 106. There was one for the Joker number 1. There's even one that has Miracle Molly on the cover for number 108 that is pre-selling for $40. Now keep in mind, the pre-sales of 107 were actually as high as $55, $60, and they have come down substantially since release. Be careful with pre-sales. A lot of times these books are going to come down upon release because the supply is coming to meet the demand.
Almost halfway through the list. Crank it. We have to cut some rug at number 6 because of Captain America 275. Baron Zemo becoming my favorite character in Falcon and Winter Soldier for good reason. The dude is kicking ass. He's throwing his mask on. You don't want to mess with this guy. He hates those who take the super soldier serum for good reason. And this dude can cut some rug.
Tom, he is absolutely my favorite part of this show right now. And the fact that the first appearance of the second Baron Zemo, there have been 13 Baron Zemos, folks, is selling for $50 average sales and $330 for a CGC 9.8. No surprise at all.
Now, was the dancing in episode 3 cringe? Yes, it was. Marvel on YouTube even released an hour-long loop of Baron Zemo doing his best impression of a spastic penguin. But you know what? I don't care. I don't think the community does either because we're seeing a 159% increase in copies sold. And this is a book that we knew would spike because back in December 2019, we were hearing confirmation that this was going to happen, that he was going to reprise his role as Baron Zemo, that we were going to see him in his classic costume. And I think long-term, we're going to see him again.
Number 5 on the list, again proving that this is no bad idea, Tankers number 1. $45 average sale for a brand new book this week that is only carried by a select few shops across the country.
I looked up on eBay and there's over 30 sales in like 2 days for this book. Clearly members are trying to secure a copy because they can't get them at their LCS on average. This is a special hookup with Bad Idea, and clearly this new way, this new relationship that they've established with retailers is proving to work. We're still seeing members go out and wait outside for their book, getting super hyped about the quality of the books. Have you seen them?
Yeah, Tom, we actually have one of our Patreon subscribers who lives in another country. He gets books shipped to our store and we ship out of the country to him. He got 3 copies of the not first print of Eniac number 1. I was shocked at the quality of these books. The covers are thicker. They're really nice and embossed. They're glossy. The interior is fantastic. I mean, they're really going all out with these books.
The quality of the books have been dynamite, but what has continued to impress us is the narratives. We have a story about a future where oil is running low. How will we supplement fossil fuels? Well, you have solar panels, you have science that's investing in the future so that we can rely on renewable resources. Or you can go back in time and try to save the dinosaurs.
So Tom, going back in time to divert a giant meteor from killing dinosaurs so we could have more fossil fuels, that's great in theory, but as Ashton Kutcher would tell you, the butterfly effect is not something to mess with, and this is going to have some serious repercussion in present day.
Written by Robert Venditti, and I do want to rewatch Butterfly Effect now. All right, let's take a look at number 4 on the list because Master of Kung Fu 115 just made it. $50 average sales and a high sale for a CGC 9.8 of $125. We have Death Dealer, which is confirmed for the movie because of a, spoiler warning, a toy leak.
So when I heard Death Dealer made the list this week, I was all excited because I'm a massive Frank Frazetta fan. And then
Not
Tom
that
said,
one.
no, it's not that one. But this guy is great at hand-to-hand combat, and it's an incredible character design. He looks great as a toy, and I really think there's a lot of good buzz about this.
This is also curious because this is part of the Marvel Legends action figure line, and each one of these toys has that build a figure aspect to it where you get one piece of a larger character that you can piece together if you collect them all. And this particular release had a lot of characters from the Master of Kung Fu upcoming movie, but the build a figure was Mr. Hyde. Now, although that gets me all hyped up because I really like the character, they traditionally make Build-A-Figures whatever character they want to build and not necessarily one that they're going to put in the movie.
Twice as many copies sold compared to last week, and this is one of those movies that I think everyone has forgotten about. It has flown under the radar, and because of the postponement, because of the coronavirus, we just haven't really been talking about Shang-Chi, but we know that it's coming out now, and we're finally seeing more information that is driving spec on this movie.
I encourage the community to download Key Collector Comics, utilize the code TOM101 to unlock 2 free weeks of the best comic app in existence. But if you don't want to pay for the bonus categories, there's a ton of free categories on there, including a number of them that include Shang-Chi key comics that you should be keeping an eye out on, because this is a run that's traditionally undervalued and has been for a long time.
Number 3 on the list this week, Avengers 23, an actual honest-to-God Silver Age book on the list this week. We have a $150 average sale. We saw a $408 sale for a CGC 9.2 on Loki spec.
That's right. We're getting a bunch of trailers over this last week. One in particular was Loki, and it looks hysterical. I'm really digging the different genres that they are attempting to popularize, just really giving us something unique. And considering that we're getting hit with a brand new show right after the prior show, I feel like Marvel's becoming part of my routine. I'm up every single week watching my favorite characters hit the screen.
For those of you who aren't familiar with Silver Age Avengers, this is the first appearance of Ravonna Renslayer. Now, she is a time traveler who has this on-again, off-again, sometimes requited, sometimes unrequited love thing with Kang the Conqueror. Well, we're seeing a Judge Renslayer who's supposed to be in the new Loki show. Is this Ravonna? We're going to have to find out soon.
Well, considering when Kang gets introduced into a narrative, traditionally Ravonna isn't far behind. We know that Loki has a very high likelihood of connecting to Ant-Man Quantumania, where we already have word that Jonathan Majors is going to take on Kang the Conqueror. Could this character be that love interest? I hope so.
A 625% increase in copies sold this week. June 11th premiere, and I cannot wait. The chemistry between Tom Hiddleston's Loki and Owen Wilson is incredible. This looks funny. I am really, really looking forward to it. It's so awesome when Marvel and Disney Plus are kind of breaking these norms of superhero shows. They're just doing something different, kind of like WandaVision, and I am a massive fan.
Well, speaking of Disney Plus hype, we have at the list at number 2, Ultimates number 1, the first appearance of Ayo after her appearance at the end of episode 3 of Falcon and Winter Soldier, connecting the show to Black Panther.
This happened fast, comic fam. $20 average sales, $71 for a CGC 9.6. This was written in 2016 by Al Ewing, who you know from the Immortal Hulk run. What an incredible run, and no one was expecting this to happen. She's hunting Baron Zemo.
This book had an increase of copies sold of upwards of 1,000% in 1 week. And considering that Ayo and Annika, the companion in Wakanda, is already slated for the World of Wakanda, the recent announcement of the Black Panther show that's going to hit Disney Plus, it made it all the more reason for members to secure a copy of an affordable book.
Stay tuned to the end of the video. We have a giveaway. But number 1 on the list, Mark Millar bringing the heat with Jupiter's Legacy number 1.
$25 average sales and climbing with a $200 CGC 9.8 sale after the trailer dropped for the upcoming Netflix show that's going to focus on the legacy of superheroes from this golden age in this universe to the modern age and their children, their kin. And I can't help but feel a little underwhelmed. 143% increase in copies sold in 7 days. And I think that's probably because there's so much superhero hype happening that hey, if there's an independent title that's affordable, let's go after it. But I was hoping for a little less dramatics.
Tom, I really liked Kick-Ass. I think Millar is a great writer, and I love a lot of the stuff that he's done. This trailer just left me feeling underwhelmed. Quite honestly, it feels like the CW's trying to do a superhero show, and I'm not talking about like Arrowverse Flash CW, I'm talking about One Tree Hill. Not excited.
Oh, that's harsh, Russ. I'm still going to watch it, but you know what? I definitely agree with you that it was lacking a little bit when we have such epic things happening right now. Like, it's never been like this. I'm watching essentially movies on the screen every week because of Marvel, and even DC's bringing the heat with the Snyder Cut. I mean, I am all hyped about the heroes that we know, and seeing a narrative that is kind of an homage to heroes that we know with a creative narrative. The book is excellent. I don't know if it's going to land as hard as I want it to because I want the Millarverse to expand.
Tom, we also have Invincible and The Tick and The Boys over on Amazon Prime. There are so many superhero things that you can watch right now. I mean, really, this is just kind of a race for what is the cream of the crop. And Marvel and Disney Plus keep hitting it out of the park. Everyone else is just fighting for second place. You gotta impress me.
Comic fan, what do you think about all of this ruckus in the comment section below? And as always,
geek responsibly.
Enough said. Comic fam, let me know in the comment section below. Do you own any of these books? Did you contribute to any of these comic sales? It'll enter you to win a Joker #1 trade dress version by Ralph Grassetti. And we have other videos for you to check out. We made them for you. Enjoy.